Welcome back to shed hunting part 9, and I put on a few miles today. So far I haven't found anything. I just came across this little weasel that is very dead. It was just laying right here on the ground under this log, and I picked it up and was looking at it. Those are vicious little buggers. I don't know what killed it, but whatever did killed it pretty good. It's very dead. Huh. Let's see if we can't find a shed. Okay, everybody, I have been walking and walking and walking some more, and I've got nothing to show for it. We just came across this little skull here, and I want to see if you guys can guess what it is. Just a tiny little skull. I'll show you next to my Ruger there how small it is. Pretty wide in the head. Missing its 2 front teeth. And I can tell you what I think it is. I think it's a tiny little beaver. Those beaver have those teeth right here, just like this one does. And it's missing its 2 front teeth, but if it had them, they'd curl clear down like this, like a beaver would. I think that's a beaver. You guys can comment what you guys think. But I think it was a tiny little beaver that ventured a little too far from the water up here into the woods, and something got a hold of it. And then that was the end of little Mr. Beaver. Check that thing out. That is a heck of a rub right there. I'm just weaving my way through all this, these briars in here, trying to see if I can't locate a shed. There's a lot of deer activity in here, so I'm down where the big brow tine buck should be, or should have been. Kind of losing hope though, to be honest with everybody. I've really looked hard for these sheds, and I'm not winning the game right now. Morally and physically drained looking for these stupid things. Of course, it's always the big ones that you really want to find that you lack at the end of the shed season, but we're gonna keep after them, try to keep a more positive attitude here. One thing I noticed, these old stumps, these deer really like digging out around the edges of them. Kinda odd. Okay, we'll be back at it here. Just came across a dead deer over here. Looks like from a distance. Boy, big bodied one by the looks of it. Died not too long ago, really. Let's see what the head looks like over here. Big old doe. Yeah, those teeth are worn right down. That's an old girl there. She didn't make it through the winter. That's too bad. Oh, look at that. Got kind of goofy, extra long hoofs. Well, that's too bad. Okay, so I'm still looking for that. I've back across the road and I'm looking for that heavy horn 8-point shed, and now I'm just going up and down all the trails in this red brush and just stumbled upon an old one here. That actually looks like it could be 2 years old. I'll have to pull it out of there and see if I can figure out which buck it is. I'll take a picture for Instagram here, but that shed right there is number 21 on the year. Okay, let's pick that sucker up. You know what? I think I just found, I think this is last year's shed, and I found the same buck shed the other day from this past year. I'm pretty certain of it. We'll have to compare them, but I'm pretty sure. I just found this deer's shed from this year, and he still looks pretty similar, unfortunately. We'll have to compare them. Okay, so here's the old shed that we just found today down in the red brush. And I'll show you the shed that I found the other day that really looks a lot like it, which is this one. They're opposite sides, but boy, they really look similar. I think this one's a couple years old, not even just last year, but 2 years old. But anyways, that's number 21 right there. So all these sheds I've found so far this year, and we're gonna head back out today and see if we can't find number 22. Let's get out there. These peepers are so loud I can't even hear myself think. I mean, it's ear-piercing how loud these are. I was just walking right down through there and hit this spot. Both feet came out from under me and I slipped right on my ass. My elbow and my shoulder. So we're gonna be a little more sure-footed here walking around. Hey!
What's up, bird?
Look at this operation.
The last 2 inches. Yeah. The final boil.
The last boil of the year.
Yeah. We pulled 2 inches of sap. Not much we pulled them yesterday.
This will make some good dark pancake syrup.
Some dark stuff. You'll see it on your cake.
I got it. Smells good.
Does it?
Boy, who left you two in charge of the operation?
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah. This stuff might come out looking like
When the
oil.
old man gets old, his judgment goes off too.
Oh man.
You gotta get that cleaned out first. Done. Man, it's dark. Holy shit, it's dark. We gotta find a way into this. Well, I got nothing.
So all that work for that.
Gotta wash this up. Yeah, you'll see that on your can.
That was what they made. This was the first boil, the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And now this one's probably going to be a little darker. It is Sunday, March 22nd, and I've been walking and walking and walking and walking, and I think I'm finally just going to give up on these sheds. Not trying to be a negative Nancy here, but I feel like this is a witch hunt. I feel like I'm looking for sheds that don't exist. I've never been so sure about finding sheds as I was this year, at least a particular deer sheds. I had never been so sure about finding his sheds and then not found them. You know, years past I've tracked nice bucks all winter long and you know, walked in and found their sheds no problem, knowing where they're bedding, knowing where they're feeding. I had this buck tracked the same way. Can't find his sheds. That's so frustrating. I have walked so much, literally grid searched an entire woodlot that I know his sheds have to be in, and I can't find them. And talk about frustrating. All I can figure is that this deer coming across these big fields out here to my food plot, I think he found a woodchuck hole, stood over the hole, shook his antlers off, and then pawed the antlers into the hole, and then caved the dirt out around it. So the antlers are buried out in the field somewhere. That's kind of what I'm thinking what happened here. Or he went down here in the swamp, shook them off, and then just kept pouncing on them until they were, you know, sunk down into the swamp. One of the two. But either way, I think I'm raising the white flag and calling her a year. I'm you know, kind of a Debbie Downer right now, but I've had an unbelievable year. I found 21 sheds, which is great. But I didn't find the deer that I wanted to find. You know, the deer that's going to be one of the biggest deer on the road next year is the one that I wanted to find, and I couldn't. So I'm going to do one or two more zigzags. I'm going to get my gator and head down the road and not look back at this woods for a while. Let's go. How's it going, everybody? We're back. It is the I don't even know what the date is. The 24th of March. And we're gonna dive in here at the upper farm and see if we can't pick up a shed. I'll tell you what, I've been on a pretty dry streak here. We found that one old one last week. I've been putting on a lot of miles and been coming up short here. I really haven't been finding much. But last time you seen me, I was pretty frustrated. I had been trying to find that big brow-tine buck sheds, and then the one side that was still left of that big heavy 8-point, and haven't been able to find them, even though I found all the other buck's horns that were in that woods pretty much. So I've kind of given up on those ones, to be honest with you. I don't want to. I've looked everywhere I can imagine they were. Part of me thinks it's on the neighbor's property, but who knows. We're gonna head down in here and see what we can't find. I'll turn you on when we see something exciting. There's the spot that my big buck died this year with a bow. That's the scrape he hit the morning before I killed him. And I shot him right out of that tree down there. Hopefully we can come across something in here. This is a tree that my grandpa Bailey used to take me to when I was just a little guy, when I was 12 years old, and had these rocks sitting here. We used to sit here and shoot squirrels. There's all kinds of squirrels in these walnut trees up in here. In fact, there's one of the old 20 gauge shot shells from, and we used to sit at this tree and shoot squirrels. Man, that thing is old. It's pretty cool. It looks like raccoons have been taking over our seat here. There's a big old turkey track. Right there, and then right there. Right there. It's a good sign. I've been walking this huge deer trail down through this thick stuff here, and it splits off. One goes that way and the other one goes that way, but my brother had set up a tree stand down in here, and I bet you it was probably 2008 or so. He set that stand up in there. It's all grown into the tree. But he was sitting in that tree stand one night, had a black bear come right through here, and he shot it standing about 20 yards from the stand right there, and he didn't make a good shot on it. I think he thought he hit a little bit high, and we came in here and looked and never came up with anything, but I had to call Monty out on that. He, you know, moment of truth, and he choked on a nice black bear right here, right in this very spot. So if Monty's watching this video, sorry I called you out on it, but this is where it happened. This is where it all went down. We are back to the house, and we're gonna wrap up this shed video here. So we're at 21 sheds so far on the shed season. We put on an awful lot of miles, and this last video is really starting to get tough. As you can see, this last one I found is a little old, but we're stacking up the bone over there for sure. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll have another video coming out soon.